passions of a health nut. I have something to confess. I am a self-proclaimed health nut. I spend far too much time and money in Whole Foods. I hoard protein bars in my purse, and I thoroughly enjoy eating those leafy green tree-like things that people tend to gag from, vegetables. I scrutinize food labels like a detective looking for clues, and don't even get me started about my peanut butter obsession. I may or may not own 10 different jars and may or may not have secretly hid them in the bottom drawer right below the oven where the pots and pans used to be. I'm always in the kitchen with a whisk in my hand, whole wheat flour on my nose, baking up one of my many Pinterest recipes. And although people give me weird looks when I eat my tofu salad in public, I fully embrace my proclivity for eating nutritious food. Yet my story wasn't always this bright, and my relationship with food wasn't always this great. My passion for nutrition stemmed from a dark time in my life back in 8th grade when I was diagnosed with anorexia. Sorry to dim the mood. I'm not really here to advocate healthy eating. I'm not here to take away the school lunch cookies or make the school's portion smaller. Quick shout out to Michelle Obama for that one. I'm here to tell my story, to inspire people, to touch someone in some way. So here goes nothing. I have been athletic and thin my whole life, playing everything from basketball to softball to soccer. You name it, I've probably played it. And thanks to my metabolism, I've never even had a second thought about my weight. Well, at least until the beginning of 8th grade year when my whole life changed. I was at the doctor's getting my yearly checkup when I was told to get on a scale. Wow, Katie, you've managed to put on some meat on your bones, 16 pounds since last year. He then proceeded to ask my mom jokingly, what have you been feeding her? Thanks? Little did he know that comment stung me. I was already self-conscious enough being a 13-year-old girl. Relatively quickly, I dismissed his comment and went on with my life. Flash forward to a couple months later of 8th grade when things just got tough in my life, and suddenly everything fell out of control. I struggled with self-confidence and anxiety. I acquired a little voice in my head that told me I would never be good enough, that nobody cared about me. Being a perfectionist, I needed to feel like I had some control over my life again. Thinking back to the doctor's comment, I realized there was one thing I could control: food. It started out with just eliminating junk food from my diet, but in no time it turned into a full-blown eating disorder. I began restricting myself to under 1,000 calories a day, aware of every little morsel I was putting in my mouth. I was never satisfied as the pounds started to melt off. My hair started to fall out, I felt cold all the time, and my body was clearly emancipated. My ribs protruded and my cheeks were sunken. There was no longer that sparkle in my eyes. I started hiding in the bathroom stalls during school, crying my eyes out, knowing I was killing myself with what I was doing, but for some reason, I couldn't stop. Demons filled my mind. I was no longer Katie anymore. I was no longer the fun-loving girl I knew. It wasn't until I started having extreme stomach pains before my parents started to truly notice. I needed help. I needed it badly. The doctor noticed I had lost over 15 pounds within a couple months, and I was sent to the hospital immediately and had to have a feeding tube in me. My heart rate was dangerously low and it could have stopped at any time. That is when my eyes opened to the hell I was putting my body through. That is when I realized things had to change. Recovery was one of the longest and hardest things I have ever been through, and it took years before I even came close to it. It is like riding a roller coaster that never stops. I had days where I felt like I was on top of the world, and I had other days where I felt myself slipping deeper and deeper into my old depression, not knowing if I would ever live a normal life again. But I slowly learned that sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. I fought and fought. Every single day I fought. Slowly but surely I overcame anorexia, one of the top female killers affecting every 1 in 3 women, and I overcame it by myself. And I have never been so proud. I can't tell you why eating disorders develop, but I do know you can't just choose to have one. It's a mental disease. Personally, I blame my perfectionism, my need to be the best at everything I do, and most of all, this horrible society we live in. When did the society get this way? Girls are ashamed of their bodies and made to believe that they're not supposed to love them. They are made to believe that they aren't perfect and they need to work on it, that they need to diet to look like these unrealistic models in magazines. And want to know what I think? I think that's freaking ridiculous. The people who aren't afraid to display all their quirks and imperfections, the people who love themselves for who they truly are, those are the people I look up to. And although standing here today, telling my story, although it might not seem like a big deal to some people, it's a huge deal to me. It's helped me realize that I don't have to hide my past anymore. I can impact other people's lives. Last year I started a blog telling my story on social media, and the comments I received daily from girls telling me that I saved their lives, that I'm their inspiration, that is how I know going through all this was worth it. Being able to help other people is indescribable. It's like having a fireplace inside of your body that never stops burning. It warms your soul. It gives you a sense of serenity and accomplishment. Going through all this has created this strength in me that I never knew even existed. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. Without hard times, we wouldn't have people who change the world. Life would be all rainbow and unicorns, and although that would be great, we all know that is completely opposite of reality. Bad things happen to good people. Each and every single person in this room right now has a story, even if it's not apparent. A story of loss, a story of disaster, a story of hopelessness, a story that we hide inside of us and they haven't told anyone because, God forbid, they might think we come across as weak. Why is weakness such a bad thing? Let me ask you this. Now that I've exposed my story, now that I've taken off my layers, do I appear weak to you? The strongest people are made from adversity. The people who crumble and fall a million times and manage to pull themselves up again and again, yeah, those are the people I look up to. From overcoming my eating disorder, I have become the strongest I have ever been mentally and physically. I have found my passion for running, which I might include how I just committed to run at a D1 college next year. And more importantly, I will be pursuing a degree in nutrition where I will be able to further help people. I guess you could say I want to be that girl that changes the world. No, I will be that girl. Thank you.